Welcome to the drumming session. As you can see here, I've got a drum. It's not just any drum, this is called a snare drum and it sounds like this. The reason it's called a snare drum is because on the bottom there are lots of wires touching the drum and that gives it that raspy sound. If I turn the snares off so they're not touching anymore with the wires, you can hear it sounds just much more like a plain drum. So in this session we're going to have our snares on. Now you don't need to have a snare drum at home, don't worry. What you need is something to hit, so that could be a book, it could be a table, it could be the floor, it could be a windowsill. Find something nice and solid that you're not going to mark. I've also got a pair of drumsticks. Now again, you don't need a pair of drumsticks, it could be 2 pens, 2 pencils, a pair of chopsticks, or even just some sticks from the garden or from the park. Whatever you've got in your hands, I want you to try and make sure that both your hands are doing the same thing. Now I know lots of us, we might prefer writing with one hand over the other, but in drumming, we're going to try and make them as even as possible. So I want you to hold your sticks, whatever they're made out of, and like I'm doing here, the first thing I want you to do is hold with your thumb and your first finger, so that your thumb and your first finger are opposite one another. Once you've done that, wrap the rest of your fingers around, but not too tight. The stick should be able to wibble wobble around. Just try wibble wobbling your stick for me. Excellent. And then when you turn your hands over, I want the back of your hand facing up to the ceiling, as though you're wearing a watch on both hands and that the watch face is looking upwards towards the sky or the ceiling. Once you have all of that ready, you're ready to go. So let's just check it. Thumb and first finger, wrap the rest of your fingers round, not too tight, back of your hand facing up towards the ceiling. Okay, so we're going to start just by getting our hands moving. I don't mind which hand you start on, but I just want you to hit your surface or your drum and just listen to the sound. Does it sound the same? Is one hand playing louder than the other? If it is, try and bring it back so that they're going nice and evenly. Fantastic. And let's just try getting that a bit faster now, so if you can keep up with me. Even faster. Even faster. There we go. And you'll notice even when we were getting faster, all of our playing should be coming really from our wrists. I'm not having to move all of this. I'm going to save my energy for later. So I'm just moving from my wrist. So that first exercise actually has a name. It's called single strokes because you're doing one stroke with each hand. We're now going to try some double strokes, and you guessed it, it's going to be 2 strokes with each hand. So let's start with whichever hand you feel most comfortable, and I want you to do 2 notes and then 2 notes with the other hand. So always swapping. And just try and get that nice and comfortable. If you want some words to think of whilst you play that, you can think about the beasts in your garden. And I always think, spider, 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 spider. Really nice even spiders. Fantastic. Now comes the tricky thing. We're going to try going from our singles, 1 note with each hand, into our doubles, 2 notes with each hand, and the audience, anyone listening to you, shouldn't be able to tell. They should sound exactly the same. So, starting with 1 note each, changing to 2 when I tell us to. Ready, steady, here we go. Listen to your hands. Fantastic. And we're going to move to doubles. 4, 3, 2, 1. Look down at your hands. Check they're doing what you think they're doing. Fantastic. And we're going to stop in 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Excellent. So our hands now we should be used to holding our sticks or our chopsticks or our pens. We should be feeling a bit warmed up, like you do when you go to play sports. We always need to warm up our bodies. So we've played on the drum or on the surface. We can also play on the rim. Now on my drum, this is made out of metal. If you're playing on something different, just move around so you can try moving and adjusting when you're playing. And the rim on my drum sounds quite different. If we listen to the drum and then we listen to the rim, it's quite a different sound. So find your two different sounds. This could be two different books, it could be different parts of your windowsill or different parts of your table. And I want us to do 4 notes on each. So starting on the drum, and these are going to be single notes. Okay? Ready, steady, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, rim. 1, 2, 3, drum. 1, 2, 3, 4, rim. 1, 2, 3, 4, drum. 1, 2, 3, 4, rim. 1, 2, 3, 4, drum. 1, 2, 3, 4, rim. 2, 3, 4. Fantastic. So we've had the drum, we've had the rim. What about clicking our sticks together? Let's all try that together. Ready? And click. Fantastic. It's a great noise, isn't it? So let's add that in. We're going to do 4 on the drum, 4 on the rim, 4 clicks. Ready, steady, here we go. Clicks. Back to the drum. Rim. One more time. Rim. Clicks. Fantastic. And everything we were doing then, we're listening, making sure that everything sounds really